what's exciting or not. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to check it out and see what's happening through your site for this year's race. I'm not going to be down in Mexico this year, but it sounds like you've got some great content going up. I saw a little fodder here on Instagram. I think it was Durka, which is a photographer. For those of you that don't know, he posted something about what an Ironman is, and it was a motorcycle, single rider Ironman, a single-seater race car Ironman, and then a two-seater. And it said not Ironman. It sounds like you Ironman this race from your computer.
Just about, really. I have like one or two people that come over to help me, but some of the races, they don't even come over. Like last at the Baja 500, someone flaked out. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, and my mind is basically going crazy from the time the green flag stops. My phone is blowing up. Literally has to be plugged into the charger because so many people are sending me photos and updates and everything. So I have to sort through all that, and then I have to be combing social media, looking at racers' social medias, trying to find updates because, nowadays everyone posts something on social media somewhere, even during the race, where they have their girlfriend hold their phone and post updates. So it really, there's a ton of information to be monitoring. There's just a lot of stuff to be doing during the race. So yeah, definitely race day is not really that much fun for me, but it's, it makes it worth it when you hear that everybody's pretty stoked on what you're doing.
Yeah, I bet. So make sure you're hydrated before your session. Make sure you're caffeinated.
I got plenty of Monster. I just got back from Monster today. They loaded me up, so good to go there.
Good. I was wondering if you had an energy drink sponsor.
Yeah. Monster takes care of me. We do some cool giveaways too, actually. If you guys want to win a Monster mini fridge and some other cool stuff I just picked up, I'm going to be posting the giveaway actually in the next hour or so. So all you have to do is guess the overall winner of the race and their time with the seconds included. And whoever's the closest, you can be over or under. Whoever's the closest is going to win the Monster mini fridge. It's actually a pretty cool fridge. You can't buy them anywhere, so you can only get them from Monster. So it's a pretty cool prize to win. And even if you don't have any idea who's racing, just go to Score International's site, look at the entry list, pick a trophy truck, and pick a time that you think they're going to win. And I would go somewhere between 14 and 15 hours if it was me.
Oh.
And who knows, you might win.
Listen, let me tell you, man, having another item in my house that's going to drain some electricity in the state of California, I'm not a big fan of, but I know a little slap, slap on the state.
It's funny. My power is actually off right now. I've had no power at my house all day today. They shut it off.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did see something on your Facebook, but
it hasn't come back on yet.
Those are great refrigerators. I've seen them. I did some racing for Monster this year at the Mint 400, and those guys have some great swag. It's funny. I got some hats from those guys, and even Monster racers, that raced last year or earlier this year, like, where did you get that hat? I don't have that hat. So, they're very particular about what they give away, when they give it away. And if you got something, man, it's worth holding on to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have some hats in the giveaway too. So we got a bunch of stuff to give away.
Yeah. So speaking of, forecasts on who's going to win this race, who do you think the top contenders are this year, and who do you have your eyes on?
It's really hard to pick nowadays. There's legitimately I'd say about 10 people that really have a shot at winning. And I think there's 30 something trophy trucks, maybe close to 40. But there's really only, out of those 40, there's only about 10 people that have a real chance at winning. I mean, it's off-road racing. Everyone could break except for one guy. You never know. Yeah. But if you look at the past, there's really only a few people that win all the races, especially the big races. So, I mean, I could narrow it down to like 4 or 5 people that probably have a really good chance. And it kind of depends on their qualifying start too. For the people that don't know, they did a qualifying. It's kind of different from like, NASCAR or something like that, where you qualify the day before. They qualified at the SEMA show. They went out to the dirt track in Las Vegas, and they had a little oval track, or kind of oval, but on the dirt. And I think it was like 2 miles long, and they did 2 laps, and that was their qualifying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird because it's not in Baja, and the course at SEMA at the, thing is not like Baja. So it kind of gives you a sense of who's fast, but it's not necessarily like who's fastest in Baja.
Yeah, interesting. So let's narrow it down to 5. Let's get your 5 picks. I'm sure they won't hold you to it.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Well, let's see. I really think that Ricky Johnson qualified first. He's in an all-wheel drive Mason Trophy truck. He was leading the Baja 500 until mile 400, where he had a weird problem. Like they had a belt come off the alternator and took out a seal on the transfer case or something. So a totally weird, like dumb problem. Mm-hmm. He was literally pulling away from everyone to that point. And now he's first. So honestly, if that truck doesn't have a problem, I really think he's going to win by like 10 or 15 minutes. I really do, because he's going to have clean air all day. He has all-wheel drive, which a lot of the other trophy trucks are only two-wheel drive. So it's a little bit of an advantage. I really think he's got a good spot right there. So that would be one of my first picks. Then the guy right behind him is Luke McMillan, driving with Larry Rossler. Uh-huh. Nobody has more Baja 1000 wins than Larry Rossler.
Yeah. So
he has the most in history. So and Luke has been getting really fast lately. And I really think them being in the second spot right there, if Ricky Johnson does have a problem in the first spot, I think those guys take over and those guys check out. Mm-hmm. So, just going with 1, 2, and I know it's kind of lame, but 1 and 2 is really, those are the top guys of this race right there. It's those two. Then if you go back a little bit, you have guys like Bryce Menzies. Once again, he was leading in a brand new truck, Vegas to Reno race, which is a 600-mile race. He was leading till 10 miles from the finish line when he had a flat and the studs were spinning, so they couldn't get the tire off to change it.
Heartbreaking.
So once again, heartbreaking. Just a dumb problem, a dumb little problem cost him the race. So he's another one I think is going to be up there. And then of course you can't pick against Andy McMillan. He's a contender every single race. He'll be on the podium if he doesn't win. And then Rob McCachran driving with Jason Voss. They're another one that they win almost every race they do. If not, they get on the podium. So I think those 5 are really your top 5 contenders for the race. But then there's, like I said, there's about another 5 guys you could mix in there that could easily win the race.
Yeah, well, we can't forget our boy Cameron Steele. He's got a further back in the pack in terms of qualifying, but he's a great guy. If anybody has a problem in front of him, he knows how to get around and to get down that peninsula, because he knows it, like you said, he knows it better than anybody down there just about. So he's got a great opportunity.
Yeah, for lines, he's definitely top. He knows all the lines, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we'll throw BJ in there just because you spent the last few days with him. We don't want to leave him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has as much of a shot as anybody else, but he is a little bit rusty. It's, he's not in it as much as everybody else is right now, but we can't discount what BJ's capable of doing.
No, he's won the Baja 1000 by driving himself, the only driver, twice in a row before. So, he's not maybe on top of his A game right now as he was back then, maybe just with the whole, everything that comes with the package. I know he's had a lot of truck problems lately. It's an older truck, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't put him in my top 5. Just I think, he's got a new truck in the works, and once he gets that, I think that'll kind of bump him back up again. But he has had a lot of like little dumb truck issues too. So if he has a clean run, he'll be up there too. He's definitely one of the best wheelmen in there, along with Robbie Gordon. We can't forget about Robbie Gordon. Everybody knows Robbie Gordon.
Yeah.
He'll be up there until he breaks. But Robbie, it seems like he's broke every race in the last 3 years besides 4.
Well,
and that's true from when I looked at the data.
Well, Robbie,
but he's always winning until he breaks.
Yeah, he's all in, man. He's all in. He's either going to win or he's going to break. So.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
Well, I think we're in for an exciting race once again. Oh, by the way, I didn't even bring up my very close friend Ryan Arciero. He's had some really close calls recently. He's not too far back in the pack. He's got some new equipment out there. So like you said,
that's what I mean. You could keep throwing names out there, and they're all really good now. It's not like 10, 15 years ago when there was only really probably 3 or 4 guys that had a legit shot at the win. Now there's at least 10 that really have a legit shot at winning the race, which is cool because it makes it better for the fans down in Baja. You got a lot more fast guys coming by. You get to see a lot more action. The people up here in the States, they're sitting on the edge of their seat watching Fishgistics because they want to know who's winning. And there's like 10 guys. It could be not just one guy.
Yeah.
So definitely it's evolved a lot.
As we're talking, I got to say, one of the things that I love about our sport is the people involved in this sport are just all great people. Every one of those names you rattled off that have the potential to win, these guys are all spending top dollar, anywhere from $500,000 to several million each year to go racing
Yep.
off-road in Baja and Nevada and Arizona, but all just great guys. And when you look at some of the other motorsports out
Yep.
there, you just can't rattle off 10, 20 great guys that you hope that they all win, because you know them personally and how they are. And, you want everybody to do well. So it's really hard to pick one. I know I threw you on the spot, but it's like throwing myself on the spot too, because they're all your friends and they're going to give you a hard time. Like, well, why didn't you say I was going to win?
Exactly. And it's like, there's a lot of them that could win, and they're all, like you said, they're all real good guys. They all love going to Mexico. They all give back a lot when they're down in Mexico. Every one of them will sign an autograph for a little local kid that walks up and wants them to sign his hat or his shirt or whatever. Yeah. So there's really not very many of them that, are not nice, really. I don't even know one that's not nice, really.
Yeah, well, and this goes back to our company, Baja United Wines, and the Baja United Group in terms of giving back to the orphanages down there. That habit for me started really full time when I started off-road racing. It's been over 12 years ago now in Baja. And, all these guys that we mentioned their names, they're all involved one way or another with whether it be orphanages or charitable type activities down in Baja. And I just think that that's the nature of who we are as off-road guys, especially associated with Mexico.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool when you're, driving through the middle of nowhere during a race and you just come around a corner and there's maybe like a school there or a ranch or something, and there's a bunch of little kids standing outside cheering you on in the middle of the day or the middle of the night. It doesn't matter what time it is. If there's a race, they're all awake. So I think they love having, the racers come down there, and the racers definitely don't forget that they're racing through people's private property, and, they aren't quite as fortunate as, a lot of us up here are. So it's good to be able to, give them a little something. It doesn't really take much to, a little bit goes a long way down there.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, listen, I know you got a busy life. You probably just got home from work, and we've talked enough about the Baja 1000 without actually having the race go on. So if people want to get a hold of you or follow you, can you give out your website one more time and where you're found on Instagram and social media?
Yeah, just go on either Facebook or Instagram and look up Fishgistics. It's just FISHGISTICS, just like it sounds. It's a little play on logistics, and then my nickname is Fish, so I just put the two together. It was kind of a joke that somebody came up with for the name, and it stuck, so we're going with it for now. And, people are starting to know what it is, so I think we're going to stick with it for a little while.
Yeah, you might as well. Look, if you're associated with off-road, almost every one of us has a nickname, so you gotta roll with it.
Exactly.
Embrace it however you earned it. You must have earned it, so go with it.
Yep.
And it definitely stands out. So, look, I appreciate what you're doing for off-road. I do look forward to checking out your coverage of the race. I'm actually heading to Laughlin for a Spartan race over the weekend, so I'll watch it in between what I'm doing over there. And, man, I just wish you the best with everything that you're doing. So thanks for taking the time to be on the show.
Right on. Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it.